Yo, stop making whack tacos at home. Seriously. YouTube, what is good? It's your man Ridge from Hater Cooks. Today we are making carnitas. This is by far, my favorite Mexican taco dish. I just love carnitas. You get all the different parts of the pig, chop it all up, make it real easy for you, and you just scoop up that fried, greasy goodness in a taco and just really wish I had a taco in this hand right now. I've been to Mexico City a few times, and it's just a joy to see all these taqueros with their giant vats of bubbling pork, and you literally pick that piece and that piece and that piece, and then they chop it all up for you and scoop it up with the taco. It's just heaven. So I want to make this at home because there is nowhere in London that I can get even close to getting the real thing. There's a few different ingredients for this recipe, but do not get scared. This is easy. So to start, we're going to talk about the meat. Here we have ribs, pork shoulder, and skin. You can mix and match whatever pork cuts you want, but make sure you got some lean and some fatty. The other ingredients that we need are some orange rind, a lime, a whole onion, a couple cloves of garlic, and we have here some orange juice. This came from that orange. In terms of spices and herbs, you don't really need too much. In Mexico, they do use a nice cocktail of different herbs. I don't have those here, so I'm gonna keep it simple. We got rosemary and we got cinnamon sticks. The last two things you need is your frying oil and some milk. I have here cheap frying oil. I don't have lard, unfortunately, which is what they use in Mexico. And here I've got evaporated milk. It's way thicker than regular milk, but if all you have is milk, then just use that. Last thing to say is that your meat needs to be chopped up into reasonable sizes. You don't want it too small because you risk overcooking it, but you don't want it too big either because then it's gonna take too long to cook. Somewhere in the nice sort of morsel size, probably the size of a golf ball to a baseball, no bigger than that. All right, y'all, so as I mentioned, I don't have any lard, so we're gonna use vegetable oil here. And I'm just gonna pour in a really good amount of this into the pot. Basically, this is going to be deep frying the pork, so you need a really good amount of it. Make sure you have a big pot and do not fill it up more than halfway, or else it's gonna be dangerous. Yo, this is a PSA right here. Do not bring your oil up to very, very high temperature. You're not gonna see it in this video, but the first time I did this, my oil was way too hot. And I put one piece of pork in there and boom, 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 boom. It was like shots. It was crazy, oil everywhere. So if you have a thermometer, use it. If you don't have a thermometer, you should go get one because you don't want your oil to be hotter than about 250 Fahrenheit. Everything's gonna come down in temperature as you add pieces, but that's okay. You can always bring it back up later. It's better to do that than to have super hot oil at the beginning and burn the out of your house.
All right, so go ahead and start adding your pork into the pot. Do it one piece by one piece and look at how the oil reacts. If it gets too crazy, then maybe move the pot off the heat or turn off the heat entirely. If it's looking okay and the oil's not popping a lot, then you can keep adding your pieces of pork. So you can proceed with adding every single other ingredient. Leave the liquid ones for last.
So our pork is looking real good. As you've noticed here in the pot, things are slowing down just a bit, although this one is picking back up. Once you keep adding stuff into the pot, the temperature is gonna come down, so you're gonna see the boil get less and less. That's totally okay because once everything's in there, you can turn it up again and get it to the desired rolling temperature. So at this point, there's nothing else left to do. All your ingredients are in here, so we can go ahead and cover this, although I'm gonna leave mine open just a bit. And you can either finish it on the stove by letting it slowly boil for, let's say, 2 hours and change, or you can take this entire thing, put it in the oven at a low temperature, let's say about 275, 280 degrees Fahrenheit, and just let that go for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So you're probably wondering, why the hell do we put orange juice, and lime juice, and milk in frying oil? Well, that's the beauty of carnitas. All of those liquids add something special. The orange juice adds some fruitiness, the lime adds a bit of acidity, and the milk adds some sweetness. There's a lot of milk solids in there and those slowly caramelize the more and more you cook that vat. Eventually, you're left with oil that's infused with all of those good things. All of the liquid evaporates, but all of the solid contents remain. That is what makes carnitas bang. All right, so this is like the hidden track. You know when you used to buy an album back in the day? There was a random track that wasn't listed? Well, this is it for my video. I'm gonna show you how to make salsa verde and some fresh corn tortillas. All right, so this salsa verde recipe is super easy. I'm using canned tomatillos and canned poblano peppers. That's the best I can do in London, so don't make fun of me. So the first thing we're gonna do is get our poblano peppers into the blending pot. As you can see, these have already been roasted and de-skinned. So we're gonna put a nice amount here. I don't measure this, so whatever, but you kind of saw how much I put in there. That's probably 1 or 2 whole poblano peppers. Then we're gonna put the tomatillos, put those in there whole as well. All right, so the next important ingredient is lime. Lime matters a lot because it gives it acidity, and this is just a classic Mexican flavor. And finally, the last ingredient is cilantro. I love cilantro, and I put it on as many things as possible. For this sauce, it's gonna give it that amazing green color as well. And of course, you know, add a little bit of salt to your salsa. Don't go too crazy right now because you can always add it afterwards, after you taste it. Add a little bit in there. You don't need this, but I like to add a little bit of cumin to mine. Just a hint, just something to kind of break away from the extreme freshness of the salsa verde. All right, it's time to blend. All right, we're gonna make some fresh tortillas here. You can definitely skip this step and just buy some tortillas, but I'm a badass, so I'm gonna make some myself. To start, you need this. This is fresh masa. Just look it up. So we got our fresh masa in here. I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit of salt for some flavor, and then water. Basically the only ingredients you need. I'm not measuring anything here just yet because I think I know what I'm looking for in terms of texture, but the whole point here is to get a certain consistency with your dough. To mix it, you kind of just massage it and squeeze it through your fingers and then roll it around the bowl. And just keep doing that until it starts to come together. All right, this definitely needs a little bit more water. You want to keep incorporating until the dough starts to come together. As you see here, it's starting to become nice and tight. There's still some loose edges though. All right, this is now looking pretty good, but it's still a little stiff. So I'm gonna add just a little touch of water to help round it out. All right, so here we have our dough. It's nice and moist. And when you squeeze it, it doesn't just completely crack, it kind of stretches. That's what you're looking for right there. All right, so it's time to make your tortillas. You wanna rip off a nice little ball. I'm not weighing this, but as you can see, it's not gonna be very big. I'd say the size of a golf ball. You wanna bring it into a nice uniform sphere. You put some parchment paper down, that way you can remove it from here very easily. Put your ball right in the center, and we're gonna give it a nice, quick, firm press. So, boom. Flatten it out. And here you have your tortilla. It's not perfect, but you work at it and make it work for you. Oh yeah, this looks banging right here. Pork looks banging, I'm hungry. Last thing we need to do is take the pork out, shred it up just a bit, and sear it off in a hot pan just to get some crust on it. And then we're ready for tacos. Isn't that marvelous? Crispy pork, green salsa, fresh tortilla. You can't beat this, honestly, you cannot. So I don't want to talk anymore. This looks way too good. I need to eat this right now. this video is over. If you like this, which I know you do, go ahead and like. If you got any questions, any comments, leave me some comments. Subscribe, because there's gonna be more stuff like this coming. Peace.